to go GNCC Racing!
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to RacerTV.com for GNCC Live as we pick the action back up here in the sands of Florida for our second round of UTV racing here in Palatka, Florida at the Wildboar GNCC. It is also known as the Hogweiler and a.k.a. the Rodman Plantation, a place that has a lot of history as far as GNCC racing is concerned. And speaking of history, we're about to make some here today as we check in with those front rows here today. We've got the best of the best and a lot of interesting things taking place. Last race, Cody Miller having problems. Your defending champions finishing like 35th, scoring no overall points. So he's looking out for redemption today. Also back with us is Cole Sequoia. He was on his way to the race a couple of weeks ago. Ended up, the baby came a little early. He went back home. He's going to be trying to come back here and win this one back-to-back in the sands of Florida. See if he can make that happen. We'll see if it happens or not. But he's also got a host of other folks that are going to be vying for a win here today in Florida in this UTV race. Nearly 100 machines strong today. And what a great battle we are about to set out on here. The track is already rough, but it is in perfect condition with temperatures about 70 degrees right now as we head in to this second round of the season. Let's take a look at what's going on out here on the starting line right now and who we have to take a look at as well. And, of course, we're talking about row number 1 being out there. And this is your UXC 1 riders, and these are riders like Hunter Miller, Darren Oakley, Michael Swift, Walker Fowler, and Jamie McCoy, all there in row number 1, poised and ready to strike as the blue flags are out. We're less than 30 seconds away from going GNCC UTV racing here at the Wildboar. And all attention turns to Ricky Towery as he lets these drivers know it's time to roll in 10 seconds. Row number 1, your XC1, Hunter Miller, Darren Oakley, Michael Swift, Walker Fowler, and McCoy rolling into that first turn. Fans excited all around Florida right now as we round that first turn in round 2. Turn 2, it's the 70 car. Jamie McCoy taking the early lead in this one. As we head down next, we got our defending national champion, Cody Miller, on row 2. Kyle Cheney, Kevin Trantham, Sean Bogdan, and John Barnes rolling next. And they're off. Wow! Hunter Miller off like a shot out of a gun, man. I tell you what, he's going to have company, though, as they head toward that second turn. Miller, though, still out front as he takes that hard left-hand turn. He is looking for redemption after the issues with the radiator hose just 2 weeks ago. Row number 3, Cole Sequoia. The new daddy looking to crush some skulls out here today in the Skull Crusher machine. The 2-2-2. Triple deuces, if you will. Cole Sequoia by himself, but racing the clock, trying to catch up to everyone else. Row 4, Matt Zeeler. This is UXC 2. This is Matt Zeeler, Colin Truitt, Matthew Ashton, Chris Wolf, and Brian Riggs. And the UXC 2 are off and rolling. Colin Truitt taking the overall win of the last round. He took the win this morning in the single seats as he did at Big Buck. He's looking to do it again here in the overall. Can he do it? We'll find out. The 17 car of Colin Truitt moves out front in the early part of this race off of row number 4. Row 5, Jason Watt, Jim Guggenauer, Robert Boynton, Spencer Modlin, and Austin Seelig. And here they roll now through that first turn. It's a drag race to turn 2. Who's going to win this one? It's the 116 car. That is Spencer Modlin. As we go to row 6 now, more UXC2 drivers. Sean Hess, Kyle Hart, Danny Rogers, and C.J. Greaves. The 141 car of Kyle Hart. Wow, off the line about 4 car lengths ahead of everyone when they reach turn number 1. Turn 2, it's tightening up a little bit, but he's still got the early lead. Kyle Hart Heading on out through the woods. XC3 now. UXC3. Scotty Lawrence, Jeremy Wallace, Trevor Payne, Dwight Pollard, and Luke Shepard. And they're off. Woo! The 706 car. Dwight Pollard had a great run last time out. He's got another great run started as he gets the whole shot off his row now. And heading into that second turn, he's still got plenty of company. The 420 car, I believe that's what it was. So next we go to William Hilliard, Brett Wingfield, Donald Harrison, Eric Polomaki, and Wesley Lance. The 910 car out front, Wesley Lance leading the UX3 second row. This is row number 8. Now row number 9, Britt Vanderford. These are UXC3 drivers again. Casey Boynton, Garrett Harvey, Jason Langford, and Patrick Shamblin. Wow, listen to them shifting gears in those Yamahas going up that start right now. Out front, though, we got couldn't quite catch that number, I don't think. So we'll go next to our next row, which is the Elliott Cook, row number 10, Bubba Gray, Clifton Beasley, Cole Simmons, and John Higgins. That might have been Casey Boynton out there a moment ago leading that last row a few seconds ago. Here comes row 10, though, around that first turn. 819. John Higgins in that UXC3 class. Next, more UXC3 drivers. Jared Ham, Dalton Schmitz, Sylvan Massey, Wesley Stone, and Ronald Varndell off and rolling now. Around that first turn, it is a Yamaha leading the way. You can try these out yourself out at the Yamaha demo rides. Alrighty, next we go to row 12. This is Matthew Cassee, Levi Metzler, and Scott Debruller. And they're off. The 01 of Cassee, former ATV motocross star, now turned cage rage rider, leading this one now. As we go to row 13, Tanner Bowles, Todd Redmond, Robert Lysy, Little Ricky Zorn, and Brian Russell. And the 598 car, Little Ricky second. He thought he was going to get the whole shot there for a minute. Let's see who's out ahead of him, though. It is the 409 car. And that one is piloted by we'll get it. Now our next row is coming up next, Al. By the way, Robert Lysy got that whole shot in the other. Here's Rodney Gentry, Sean McLaughlin, April Hodges, and David Wells. And I believe that was some Sportsman UTV drivers off the line there. Sarah Golden coming up next, Addie Nibel, Cynthia Poole, Vicki Fowler, and Renee McGee. Women's UTV is what we're looking at now. Women's UTV. It is 2, 3, 7 out front. Addie Nibel, she raced the single seat race earlier today. Row 16, Emily Truitt and Madeline Cox off and rolling in the women UTV. They weren't for sure, I don't think, to go. All right, the 127 car, Emily Truitt. I don't know if that's Colin's sister or not, but probably. She's driving awful fast like it could be a sister to Colin. As we go to row 17, Masters 45-plus class, Chris Brockway, Mike Penland, Devin Ferguson, Mark Thompson, and Kip Adkins. Chris Brockway out front early on. Green flag dropped and his foot went straight to the floor. And he's got this lead heading into the second turn as we go to row 18. Matt Horton, Thomas Wilson, and Jim McGee. Row 18 off and rolling next. Row 18, the 406 of Thomas Wilson out front, it looks like here early on. Bluegrass Racing. So Austin Seidels, or actually Austin Sides, coming up next in the Masters 45 plus class with Jeff Modlin, Bobby Hasty, Matthew Yerkson, and Glenn Hess. I love those Yamahas. I love to hear those shifts go up through there. That sounds bad. I love it. Bad as in good. 324, I believe that was Glenn Hess. And row 20, Gil Ramos and Bill Bowen. Our final start here this afternoon as they are off and rolling now. And it's Gil Ramos grabbing the early lead with Bowen back in the number 2 spot. And that's going to wrap things up, at least from the start here. We'll be throwing things over to Chuck Lee Master, who's standing by over the Racer TV studios, and we'll pick the action up here in just a few moments. Folks, stick around. We got a lot of great things. Can Cody Miller redeem himself? Can Colin Truitt make it 4 race wins in a row in 2 races? Stick around, find out. GNCC Live continues after this.
What is your passion? Hitting the perfect line, finding the perfect trail, routing the perfect adventure, or just living and breathing the moto life? Do you feel pride for a job well done after tackling a late night in the shop? Do you enjoy time spent with friends and family in the great outdoors? Spanning over 3 decades, one name has taken the lead for supplying the best powersport parts, accessories, and apparel to fuel your passion. One name that knows it goes beyond getting you the best prices, quickest shipping, or largest selection. One name that builds and innovates for our industry. One name that teaches, helps, and supports our fellow riders, racers, and organizations. We are Rocky Mountain ATV MC. We have transformed a team of moto enthusiasts into a powerful teaching team to ensure that you make the best purchasing decision with your hard-earned cash. We build communities with fellow riders to provide you with all you need to make a good decision. See customer photos, reviews, Q&As, and more while you're on our easy-to-use website. Need help fast? Live chat with our specialists, email, or drop us a line. Visit us today and experience the best in OEM and aftermarket parts, accessories, apparel, and industry-leading information. We offer lightning quick shipping, free on orders over $75, a huge inventory, free apparel exchanges both ways, and customer service that leaves all others behind. Experience one name that leads all others. Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
I'm a sore loser. I'm a sore loser. Losing is not an option for me. Be the best. The best. The best. You have to have the best equipment under the hood. That's why I only use Cometic products in my engine. Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket.
Cometic gasket, a superior quality gasket
for those of us who demand the highest level of performance.
We handle your races, your jumps, and your trails. Isn't it time you give your daily driver the same love? AMSOIL's Signature Series Synthetic Motor Oil delivers 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by a leading industry standard. AMSOIL also offers a full family of ATV, UTV lubricants, giving you above and beyond fortification for your weekday and weekend vehicles. AMSOIL, devoted to protection.
This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready. And by Monster Energy, unleash the beast.
And welcome back to the 2018 Moose Racing Wildboar GNCC, and here in beautiful Palatka, Florida. You are catching the 5th race of the day. We started out this morning at 8 o'clock this morning with our youth ATV race, and what a race it was with Wayne McCormick taking the overall win this morning. And then we rolled straight from there. We went into the Ace race, the Polaris Ace race, and had quite the battle going on between Colin Truitt and John Ballman. And there for a while, Michael Swift was leading. And here in just a little bit, we'll be seeing Michael Swift's name pop up again as he's out here doing duty in the side-by-side race this afternoon. But Michael Swift actually, once he finished the podium there with his Ace race, he went on and caught the 10 o'clock ATV race. And where 4x4 Pro was running, and in that race he was able to finish 5th, but that race was actually quite the battle. It's been an exciting day here in Palatka, Florida. We saw Kevin Cunningham come away with the 4x4 Pro win, followed by a former XC1 Pro, Landon Wolf. They had a battle all day long, and so here we're coming down to the final race of the day, and we're starting to see our RacerTV crew being able to pick up these cars as they're blasted through the sand down here in Florida, and anxiously awaiting for that first lap to be complete. But while we're waiting, I wanted to catch a quick word with Ryan Eccles and find out a little bit more about this track and have him give us a quick run through while we're waiting on these cars to check through on their first lap. But that's all right as we get ready for and
Hi, this is Ron Eccles coming from the beautiful Sunshine State for round number 2, the Wildboar GNCC. Got a great track today, some tight stuff, a lot of some fun open stuff that great for passing. So I think everybody will enjoy it on this UTV race. Should make some good racing, some good battles, and I hope you guys all enjoy. It's about 6.5 miles, so stay tuned for a good race.
And thanks a lot, Ryan Eccles, for that quick overview. We've got some great camera work for you today. You've already seen pictures from the drone, the live drone, and right now you're catching this section through the field and the sand and the way that the weather's been for us. This has made prime racing conditions down here. You're catching a quick glimpse right there of Jamie McCoy, the number 70 car. Jamie was actually our winner at our opening round last weekend in Big Buck. Jamie McCoy was the first time to get in the center of the podium there. And just a few minutes ago, you saw Jamie charge into that first corner with the hole shot, and it looked like he was running about third right there. But we're waiting on live timing and scoring to figure out exactly our results. This is still a very early race, and anything can happen. And it seems that in GNCC side-by-side racing, anything always does happen. And so if you're here at the track today, you're certainly tuned in for a great adventure. It's going to be some real good, we would call it bar banging all day long, but today we're going to call it wheel banging as these guys try to safely race each other. But, you know, as we came into this race, we just finished up our pro race this afternoon, and we saw Walker Fowler take win number 2, round 2 this season, and Walker Fowler is able to take win number 2 and take that home with him. And once again, what a fantastic day of racing, and we're thrilled that you can join us for this round right here. As we're talking about Cody Miller, Cody Miller is our reigning champion here, and Cody had a little bit of bad luck last weekend at the opening round there. We were able to catch up a little bit with Cody and just get a few words from him and find out what he's got on tap for today.
No, I came out with a really good start. My Yamaha pulled really strong with the GYTR turbo and got the whole shot, was leading most of lap 1. And then about midway through lap 2, my co-pilot and I, Cody Taylor and I, we were coming into a slow woods section, and I hit the brakes and I saw steam, boil up around us, and I was like, I knew that wasn't right. The Evans coolant doesn't boil, so I knew that I had a coolant issue, and I sure enough looked at the temperature gauge, and it was in the red. So we weren't very far from the pit area, and we made the decision to go ahead and pull off the track and fix it, because otherwise we would have ended up with a DNF, and we would have been stuck out in the woods with a blown engine. So we went up to the pits, and I actually had to cut the radiator line that was melted. It had touched the header on the exhaust, and it was my fault. I just didn't have enough test time in the car to shake out the small issues that happened whenever we were putting it all together. But I got it fixed and got back on the track in about 8 minutes, and it set us back almost a lap. But we went back out, and the car was working great. Everything was spot on after that. We set some really good lap times, but we weren't. We were so far back at that point, we weren't able to get any championship points for the weekend. But you know, we're going to come out this weekend, and we'll be in one of the back rows, which is not really a bad thing. It's kind of an advantage towards the end of the race with the time adjustment. So we'll do our best to start gathering up some championship points, and we'll get this thing on the box, and we'll start making a stab at the championship.
Cody Miller giving a quick recap race last weekend, and here on your screen, we're going to give you a quick highlight from last weekend there at Big Buck. It started out as a sunshiny day, and you get to see the Yamaha teammates there of Walker Fowler and Cody Miller, and from start to finish, you know, it looked like it was a great race, and Walker Fowler put on the race of his life, the best that he's ever done in UTVs, to come out second in class, which was actually third on the podium, because Colin Truitt, the XC2 champion, the XC2 champion and winner of the XC2 class, actually worked his way up into the top 3 and was able to stand in between Boy and Walker Fowler there. So a great start to the show. You're seeing on your screen, you see Cody Miller as he's early in the race, dominating this race and leading, and then you see there at that segment that he actually had a radiator hose burst, and what he didn't mention was that he burned his hand pretty good there. But he's tough. He's back here today and out there on the racetrack right now. We're anxiously awaiting for these guys to finish up their first lap, and we're getting our first look at live timing and scoring right now. And Kyle Cheney is actually in the lead this time. Kyle Cheney, you saw him on the start nearly flip his car over, right it, and make the corner and be in second place. Some incredible driving by Kyle Cheney. He's continued that incredible driving as he is right now leading this race. He is followed with adjusted timing. He is followed by Colin Truitt. Colin Truitt, as I mentioned just a second ago, is in the XC2 class. Cody Miller, our reigning champion, and just got a couple of honorable mentions there. Cody Miller is in the third place position. So we've got Kyle Cheney, Colin Truitt, Cody Miller are leading this race right now, followed by Kevin Trantham in fourth place position. Fifth place is John Barnes. Cody Miller's brother is Hunter Miller, is in the sixth place position. And Walker Fowler is in seventh. Michael Swift in the eighth place position, and Jamie McCoy in ninth. It looks like the 10th place is rounded out by Cole Secoy. Welcome back to GNCC Racing Nation there, Cole Secoy. Proud father of a brand new baby, and we welcome to the booth none other than Rodney Tomlin.
Chuck, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, man, we're doing good, man. Well, in your absence between the start line and now, we've been going through a quick recap of last race and a quick look at the track. And, man, this is turning out to be a beautiful, beautiful race day. What a way to end our fifth race of the day here in Palatka, Florida.
No doubt, man. You know, when we started out earlier during that earlier race, you know, I was scared that Landon Wolf was with us, and he was talking about, oh, it's kind of dusty out there. And the good thing about it wasn't really. I mean, it seemed to be on that first, but once they got through that first lap, man, they got down into that stuff. And this track has done nothing but get better and better and better throughout the entire tenure of this race today. I mean, I'm blown away, honestly, at how great this track is. And these UTV guys couldn't ask for a better time of day to be on it, I don't think.
They really couldn't. We have not had the sunshine today. We've had an overcast day. It's been cooler temperatures, and by cool, I mean like 69 degrees. It's been great. On TV here, you can see it looks kind of dark, but there's plenty of light out here to see, and these cars are actually digging down into some moist soil here. So this is the best I've ever seen Florida.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, it is. I agree with you in that. I mean, the conditions are perfect. I mean, they're ideal, about as perfect as you can get for racing. As we check now, check this out. We got live drone footage.
This is so cool.
This is something that we're trying for the very first time here today, and this is one of those back roads that we've got here where we're watching our drivers go down the road there, and you can see. Look at that. That is amazing.
A beautiful shot of the drone there.
Yeah, there's one of our cameramen down there, you see.
Yep, so we'll be able to catch a shot of that. It almost looks like snow. It looks like pines and snow, but this is Florida. It's white sand and scrub trees and palmettos. And,
man,
you know, what a beautiful thing here. Hey, Rodney, I'm going to click over and I'm going to check on the XC2 Pro class. We got Colin Truitt leading it. And I wanted to check on a number 333, a guy named C.J. Greaves. First of all, welcome C.J. Greaves to the GNCC Racing Nation. He comes to us from the Torque Series.
Really?
And, yes.
I know that name.
You do know that name.
I do know that name very well. I think he may have been a GNCCer before, maybe?
No, he's actually well known because his father, Johnny Greaves, has been a Torx racer
maybe
and
that's where I
trophy
know.
trucks,
Might
and
be
he himself has been a champion in trophy trucks and
Maybe
buggies
that's where I
out there
know
in
it from
Torx.
then,
So
yeah.
you know, if you're a race fan of anything, you know, we like to follow each other's series. CJ Greaves has been a well-known name out west.
That must be where I picked up on it.
Absolutely. So he with Torque not running anymore, CJ Greaves has come over to GNCC to give it a try. He's running in 4th place right now.
The world premier UTV championship right here.
Look at that. Look at that.
Hey, Colin Truitt, by the way, he won last time the overall from the XC2 Pro UTV.
Second.
Was he second?
Yeah, he was second.
Who got first?
Jamie McCoy.
Oh, okay, Jamie McCoy got it. Well, anyway, regardless, I mean, he was up on the podium. I mean, he almost won that thing.
He almost did. He split Jamie McCoy and Walker Fowler.
Man, that was...
Not too many people can rob Walker Fowler these days.
I know it, right?
But Colin Truitt did.
Yeah, Colin is just a phenomenal. Riding up front, pushing the envelope in both these car series. I mean, I think this kid's really found the niche. And, you know, never knew who he was before until we seen him last year come out here and race the single seats. And then we see him in the afternoons racing the side-by-side stuff, you know.
With his mom
as
his co-driver.
With his mom as his co-driver.
Because she's lightest in the family.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way to put it. Now, I've seen some other names up there, some other Truitt names. Does his sister race too? Have you caught any wind of that yet?
When he gets on the podium today, I'll ask him.
Okay. You're pretty confident in what's going to happen there.
Well, you know, we don't want to jinx any racers, so we'll just talk positive about them all.
There you go. Kyle Cheney leading the overall right now. He has got, if you look at time adjustments right now, about a 6-second lead over Truitt on the time adjustments. Truitt, again, winning the single seat earlier this morning. Cody Miller, who started off on, I believe, row 2, is running in the number 3's position after time adjustments. He obviously having the just horrible race day in South Carolina. He talked to him. I had an interview with him on Quad Radio, and he told me, he said that, what we got? Oh, man.
That was Kyle Cheney that just came ripping through
there. So that's
there.
our leader. We'll keep an eye on that. But what he told me happened was he did something wrong. And
there's Cody Miller physically in second place.
That should put him
from
first
the second
overall.
row.
Depending on the time between he and Kyle Cheney there as Cheney goes through. Now, where did Kyle Cheney start? Was he on row 1?
Kyle was on row 2 also.
Wow. So these
guys have done some work. I saw Walker Fowler come through there, so that means that both of these guys have passed Walker Fowler, who started on the first row.
Well, that's impressive, but the thing about it is now for Miller to win this, he's got to get out front physically of
Kyle Cheney because they both had a terrible race. I know we talked a lot about Cody Miller having a bad race, but before he broke down, Kyle Cheney broke down, and Kyle Cheney was having an incredible drive there at Big Buck as well. And so for Kyle Cheney's a multi-time champion here on GNCC, and so for both of our champions to break down on the opening round has really opened the door for some new talent to come in and kind of steal the show in the limelight. But here we are at round number 2, and we're talking about Kyle Cheney and Cody Miller.
That's it, and those are familiar names. Colin Truitt splitting the 2 right now. Kevin Trantham, another familiar name, in the number 4 spot. John Barnes is 7th. In 8th place, Matt Zeeler. He's the 14 car. The number 2 car of Hunter Miller running in 7th. Walker Fowler is 8th in the 13 car. The 12 car of Michael Swift is 9th. And Cole Sequoia, brand new Papa, in the Triple Deuces there, rounding out the top 10.
Now, it's interesting that with Cole Sequoia, actually, I think that you caught up with Cole a little bit earlier, either today or yesterday, and he was able to talk about his the birth of his kid, right?
Yeah, it was really nice to get a chance to talk with him there for a few moments, and we got a few words in with him, and you can just see the look on his face when we talked to him.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't think there's anything that can really prepare you for having a baby, but it was an awesome experience, something I've never experienced before. It's our first kid. Last year here we won, so that's probably the number 2. Me and my fiance took the overall win here last year, so I'm hoping just to take that into tomorrow and try to do a repeat. So she and Kaiser didn't make it down today, because he's only a couple weeks old, but they'll be at the next races, so this race will be for them.
Well, a year ago, they were celebrating a win together on the podium. A year later, they're celebrating the birth of the new son, man. I
Yeah.
think that is just so amazing, and I'm so happy for Cole. He's running in second as we take more look at that live drone footage, man. I want to sponsor that camera.
No doubt.
I want to put my name on that.
No doubt. That is a really cool shot. I think that's working out very well here in Palatka, Florida, and hope that we get to use this drone in races to come. But there you get a nice view of there's Vendor Row, and you can see us, and there's the mud bogs, and man, what a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, 6,000 acres is what this facility is made up of.
Look at this camera shot.
Oh yeah, this is coming into the finish line right here. Now we saw the ATVs. They seem to kind of tiptoe through here. We started seeing the ruts get deeper. They were starting to high side some. Mud's starting to get a little bit tricky. I got to wonder what these side-by-sides are going to do as they make their way through here now.
Well, now remember that there's still the 10-mile-an-hour speed zone coming through the finish line for these side-by-sides. We're trying to make sure that safety is number one. Safety is goal number one. But there's still a lot of racing happening out there. And, this shot right here, there we go. We're picking up some speed. I was beginning to wonder. But we're picking up some speed there, and this drone camera is just so cool.
No doubt. So good job through the RacerTV crew. This was something we didn't want to brag about until we saw that it was going to work for sure. But yeah, we've known about this. They've been testing this since yesterday. I know we started testing yesterday, and man, old Woody, Ian Howes is really doing a great job of making sure that the drone footage is primo, no doubt about it. Kyle Cheney still leading. This is after one. We are expecting these guys in for a second lap complete. Should be within the next 6 minutes or so.
That means, and this is very, very different from last week or from 2 weeks ago. At Big Buck, we were running 8.5 minute. We were running 8.5 minutes. Is that Kyle? That's Kyle Cheney right there.
Kyle Cheney broke down.
He's out of his car. He's looking underneath his left rear wheel, which is the same place that Cody Miller was looking last time. I don't know that any correlation, but I hate to see 2 bad races for this guy in a row.
No doubt.
He is such a talented driver.
Both driver and passenger are out they're looking at the rear of this car. I'm going to have to assume this has something to do with the motor. Obviously, that's where it's located, but not real sure. But
I'm not seeing any steam or smoke, or I'm just not really sure, but I'm heartbroken for him.
It almost have to be like something popped loose, something just simply snapped and broke. And
these things are 4-wheel drive. He has finished the race. He's finished the race on single axles before.
And man, Landon Wolf was just sitting here where you were sitting there a little bit ago, as in the passenger seat. Well, was in the passenger seat. He's Kyle Cheney's co-driver or co-pilot, if you will, out there. So. Man.
Co-mechanic now.
Yeah, co-mechanic now.
Man, the way they're looking at it, I'm not sure they know what's going on.
I don't know if they know or not, but man, they're looking at it like this might take a little more than what they've got access to out in the woods. So pit crews, I'm sure, are going to try to get ready and get out there and get them what they can to at least get them around here, or at least the tools to do it. But it's not looking good right now.
No, and he's a former Torx champion as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he went out there and he raced. He won a championship there last year. And, of course, GNCC is his first love, but, you know, I hate to see a guy with his talent and the amount of work that he's put into it. But, man, what I said at the beginning of the day was that GNCC UTV racing, it's early in the race. Anything can happen, and we know this for sure. Anything will happen.
It's kind of like we should call this Murphy cross-country race.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the Murphy's Law cross-country, man. It ain't over till it's over.
That's it. You can never know what's going to happen. I mean, I've seen so many crazy things happen in the last half mile of a race, and hopefully we get to see some more crazy things like that this week. What a great race today, though, with the ATVs. We saw all the ATV racing was amazing. The single-seat racing this morning that Colin Truitt won, another amazing. I mean, I love the racing, and I always love coming to the races, but when it's racing like what we've had today, it makes it so much more worth it.
Oh, man, all day long I've given some shout-outs already. There's still more shout-outs to give. I want to, congratulate Ronnie Rush on his College A win.
And I want to congratulate him on that, but as well, his competitor, Noah Mickelson from the ATV MX side of things, doing so well today, running behind him there. So
that's impressive, too.
Yeah, so and they beat the third-place guy by like 5 minutes. They were really hauling the mail out.
Pushing each other hard. Yeah.
So,
well, back to racing here. It looks like we should be looking for our leaders, which unfortunately is not going to be Kyle Cheney, but we should be looking for him in the next 3 minutes, which means that we're looking at 13-minute lap times or so?
About 17 is what the first one was, if I'm not mistaken. If we look back there, 17:43.
Yeah, which is hugely different from 2 weeks ago when we were running 8.5-minute lap times.
Yeah.
So our course this time's a lot longer. It seems like we've got some more strategic camera work done, and this is shaping up to be an incredible race.
It is, and taking a look at some of these other classes while we wrap up this second lap. Our leaders out there, Addie Neibel, the 237 out of Cameron, Missouri, leading that. Cynthia Poole, the 522 in second. Vicki Fowler, mother to Walker Fowler, the 723 car, is your third place ride in the women UTV. Masters 45-plus class, he got the whole shot in his line. Chris Brockway out front with Tom Wilson, the 406, about 3.5 seconds back. Devin Ferguson in third. Fourth, Mark Thompson. Kip Atkins in fifth. Atkins out of Seymour, Tennessee. Out of Ocala, Florida is Mark Thompson. And looks like Devin Ferguson out of Knoxville, Tennessee. So a lot of Tennessee folks out and about in the UTVs, if you will. As we look next at Sportsman UTV, Tanner Bowles from Princeton, West Virginia, a 5-second lead over the 112 car. Todd Redmond out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Wadsworth, Ohio, home to Robert Lisey, the 409. He got the whole shot in this class. And the 505 of David Wells is your fourth place car. Checking in with the UXC3, Eric Palamaki is your leader out of Indianapolis, Indiana, and Scotty Lawrence is leading physically, but second on adjusted time. Matthew Cassee, the 101 car, a former ATV motocross star himself out of Middleport, Ohio, is running third. Fourth place, 621, Trevor Payne from Stanley, North Carolina. Fifth place, 121, Brett Wingfield from Canada. William Hillard out of Ecru, Mississippi, the 89 car in sixth. Dwight Pollard, the 706 car out of Clayton, Georgia, in seventh. Eighth place is Jeremy Wallace out of Pataskala, Ohio, the 614 car. Ninth place, Luke Shepard. And 10th place, Donald Harrison out of Greer, South Carolina. A quick look at the UXC2 is Colin Truitt leading, actually second in the overall, 14.
Okay.
Matt Zeeler out of, looks like Mishaka, Indiana. Kyle Hart, the 141 out of Kelly, Louisiana. Third spot there, and then fourth place, 333, C.J. Greaves from Swamico, Wisconsin. Sean Hess, the 122 out of Munster, Texas. Spencer Modlin, the 116 is sixth out of Omaha, Nebraska. Brian Riggs, the 685 out of Waynesburg, PA, in seventh. Eighth is Robert Boynton, the 77 from Toms River, New Jersey. Ninth place, 213, Danny Rogers from Steubenville, Ohio. And 10th place, the 69 of Chris Wolf from Moatsville, West Virginia. And that's your UXC2. And your UXC1 is Cody Miller, Hunter Miller in second, Walker Fowler. This is after two. We've got these guys checking in. Cody Miller, Hunter Miller, Walker Fowler in third, Sean Bogdan in fourth, Michael Swift in fifth, Kevin Trantham is sixth, John Barnes in seventh, Jamie McCoy, last race winner, I guess it was, is eighth, Kyle Cheney in ninth, Cole Secoy in 10th, Darren Oakley in 11th. Now that's your class standings. And as we look at the overall, Colin Truitt maintains that second place position after time adjustments. Last time he was 6 seconds behind on time adjustments. This time, if you look at the time adjustments, he is, 40 seconds. So he lost a little bit of time. So that means that Cody Miller's got a monumental lead over everyone else in that XC1 class right now. If you look back to Hunter Miller, 14 seconds back behind. And I would assume that's Cody he is behind at this particular point, but 14 seconds back is Hunter Miller in third. Cody Miller, how'd he do that? How'd he get out front?
Cody Miller,
I know, time adjustments. I realize, but I mean, wow, that's pretty cool. Talk about
Cody
redemption.
Miller starting on the second row, and then he and Kyle, he just hitched on to Kyle, and they just drove through traffic and got the physical lead, and then you add that time adjustment from the second row in, and he's on rails. From where you stand on the start rope, were you able to see how hard he launched off the start?
Oh, man. Wow. That, I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, it was like, you know, you say a gun, a bullet out of a barrel of gun, but I want to liken it more, maybe people can get, but you know what it's like whenever you hit a baseball, it's going this way, and then all of a sudden it's
going that way?
Yeah, and that's basically what it kind of seemed like there. I mean, it was, because
it just launched.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And Kyle Cheney was no slouch, but it was, there's Kyle Cheney getting a toe.
Oh, man, heartbreaker there.
But anyway, you know, Cody Miller, he is just, that car is dialed.
Yeah.
You know, if he can keep radiator hoses on it and keep his hand from getting burned. And,
Did you see his hand by any chance?
yeah, on social media.
Yeah, it's bad, yeah.
Yeah, he's not talking too much about it, but
he talked a little bit about it on Quad Radio. You can go check that out.
Okay,
on
we'll
my
check
Facebook
that out.
there. Yeah, but but it was, I mean, just one of those things. I guess he didn't check the radiator, something came down in the radiator hoses, and when it did, it kind of burned it.
Yeah, I think he burned it on the exhaust. It just wasn't tied in properly, and it, you know, it happens. It was, you know, first race of the season and new car. And
Bet that don't happen again.
I mean, I bet it doesn't. I'm sure it doesn't. Man, I just want to give another shout out to our Racer TV crew. We've got such great live shots going on here. Sometimes it's hard to read the car's numbers, what they are, but you can see, especially with the drone shots, you can see the action happening now. And those guys, a little jealous of them. They're out there having a good time in this race, that's for sure.
Well, Walker Fowler is 4th place, and Michael Swift is back in the number 5 position. If you look at this, honestly, I don't see another UXC2 rider until the 8th place position of C.J. Graves, who is making a new home in GNCC Racing. So he is 8th place overall.
2nd place in the XC2 class, which congratulations. That's what a way to come into GNCC.
It is. That is a great way to make a big name for yourself. There we go, riders, drivers. I love this shot. I love the drone shots here. We're going to see some great racing tomorrow, I think, on the two-wheel side of things when we get this thing up and fired.
Oh, no doubt.
But, I mean, taking a look at this facility, this is the perfect place for this. This actual spot that we're on the Rodman Plantation called the Hog Waller. They do mud bogs here, and this is just natural swampy areas out here.
Just a natural spring right there. And even in the dry areas, like I said, these cars are digging down to soft dirt, and it's turning up black, and it's there's not a lot of dust out here, which seems like that's the number one thing that we talk about from race to race is, oh, it's so dusty, you know, these guys can't see, but that is not the case here in the sands of Palatka, Florida.
Yeah, and there we're coming out of the finish line, and there by the 1,000, I said 100, it's 1,000-acre woods that these guys are racing through back there. But
and you see that they're in that 10-mile-an-hour speed zone. So as soon as they round this corner here and brakes are off, and these guys are going to shoot forward, and it's races on.
Safety first, that's for sure here at GNCC Racing. And of course, with that in mind, you know, we learn a lot all the time. There's Cody Miller, your leader, on the screen as he goes by. There's the 13 car of Walker Fowler,
which has him in sight.
Yeah, so 4th place position. The top 3 of, Miller, that was Hunter Miller back there too, and Walker Fowler. They were running nose to tail basically through there. The only one that we're seeing right now is Colin Truitt, and he's in the XC2, so we won't see him. They don't see him.
Right.
They don't know
anything about him.
They have no idea unless they're getting it on the pit board right now. They don't know.
We got the number 12 coming into view, and that's Michael Swift, who's had a very busy day today. This is his 3rd race of the day.
Yeah, he did single seat this morning, 4x4 Pro, and now UTV. Wow.
And doing respectable in all 3 disciplines.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I want to give you an idea of what's going on as far as Colin Truitt is concerned right now. He is, as we said, 40 seconds behind Cody Miller on time adjustments, but only 4 seconds behind him on time adjustments is Hunter Miller right now. And then you start looking only 2 more seconds back. 6 seconds is Walker Fowler. So we've really got a rather heated battle going on for not only physically on the racetrack for 2nd overall, but also on time adjustment for 2nd overall. So this is going to be a nail biter, I think, until we know for sure when Colin Truitt finishes up at the checker flag today. But man, I tell you right now, it's anybody's race with only 6 seconds separating those 3 on lap times. That's going to be the tell of the tape. If Colin can keep things rolling. One thing I will say, I know that these front runners are going to start running into lap traffic a little sooner. That might play an advantage to Colin Truitt. And anybody that knows this form of racing, that's the way it usually happens. You've got to try to get through that lap traffic if you're on the front rows. Otherwise, those guys in the back row are going to gain a big advantage because they're going to get through the lap traffic a little quicker because they know they're coming at that particular point.
Right. When you're pushing snow, you know, that's that lead guy. He's got the snowplow on, and those guys don't know you're coming. They don't get out of the way. But once you blow by them, then they start paying attention and move out of the way rather easily for the people behind you. So Cody Miller right now, he's the one pushing the snow. He's physically first, and he's going to be the one coming up on these lap drivers. Fortunately, though, track crew has done a great job, and this is a longer track with 80. I think we have 84 entries today.
Yeah.
So with 84 entries on a longer track, the lappers are still a factor because that's just part of racing, but not nearly the factor that it probably was playing last week on a short track with the same amount of riders.
Well, I got to ride sections of it. I talked to Landon Wolf and a few other folks, you know, and, you know, the UTV track is obviously kind of open. There are some tight sections, but even in the tight sections that I rode yesterday, in my pre-ride, kind of, so to speak, there was plenty of passing opportunities out there, plenty of ways to get off. There were a couple of areas that you didn't want to venture off the main line because you didn't know what was out in some of the deeper stuff, but all in all, man, there is a lot of passing opportunities. You just got to be willing. You got to see the line. Kind of, if you were watching the ATV race with Walker Fowler, you just got to be able to see those lines and go. No matter where everybody else has gone, you got to go where your line is taking you.
Yeah, exactly. And these guys, especially in the pro classes, the XC1 and the XC2, which are both pro classes, these guys are very diligent about getting out here and walking the course and memorizing the course and looking for those lines. Sometimes they walk the course twice. It's not unheard of for these guys to actually walk it on Friday or on Saturday morning during the youth race and then walk it again after the 10 a.m. race just to see how the track is developing and where those lines might be. So.
And there's a lot of things that change from the initial walk because once you put a couple 300-400 ATVs out on a trail, things start to open up.
Absolutely, it does change, and you can see that with some of our drone shots too of these lines, how they crisscross each other, and how you can be creative and use the terrain to your advantage to get around your competitors or you know, the lap traffic. Oh, there's somebody. What a cool way to. I thought the camera was paused, but the camera was paused, but it's not stuck. This car is stuck.
Leader's on the way now. He should have plenty of room to be able to get around him. Let's see if he's able to get out of that main line. I don't know if that's the leader or not.
No, that's not the leader.
No, but
the
now,
leader,
that does present a problem.
There's Cody Miller right there.
Yeah, but it does kind of present a problem. And look how hard it was for those cars to get up out of that main line right there.
Exactly. So, you know, you have to square off that corner and hit to the inside or the outside. You can't stay in that rut. And as much as we don't want to advocate bumper cars, sometimes in a situation like that, the guy in front needs a little nudge to get going over those ruts. He's stuck in there pretty deep. There's Walker Fowler chasing. He can still see Cody Miller. And so even though Walker Fowler has the disadvantage because of time adjustment, remember Cody started behind Walker. If Walker can keep him in sight, he's going to set some fast lap times, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with setting fast lap times.
No, nothing at all.
That can only help you.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, I don't know how serious people took Walker Fowler whenever he started dabbling in the side-by-side racing last year as a part of his Yamaha factory contract. You know, obviously you want somebody that's with some name and some recognition to be put out there in the car. So he went out there, and I got to be honest with you, I don't know whether I was surprised it took him longer to grasp onto it than I thought it would, or he did it quick. He did it really quick, I realized, but something about Walker, man, you just know he knows how to race, and it don't matter what you put him in.
He's so talented. He's got racecraft figured out. You know, I don't know if people remember this, but he used to race dirt bikes as well, and he was a contender. He and Corey Buttrick would bang things out in the youth classes, and then Walker decided to go all four wheels. So he's just a talented off-road racer, anything that he puts his mind to. And so, yeah, on one hand, it's surprising that maybe it took him a year to figure out UTV racing. On the other hand,
that's only 6 times basically. Because he don't practice really in the car. Hadn't had much until probably. So that was really only 6 or 8 times he'd been in the car. So he's excelled very quickly.
He's excelled, but it also shows you how tough this is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Ryan Sipes coming from Supercross, Motocross to GNCC. Like, oh, it's like a guy of that talent. And then, oh man, this is just different. It's hard. And same with UTV racing. It's really progressed a long, long way. Look at the level of professionalism that this sport has right now.
These cars look so much different than the first time that I rode in that Yamaha Rhino with you. Where was that? That was at the one with the big fans on it. The big
Somerset.
Yeah, Somerset. Yeah.
Oh, look at Walker Fowler making a nice pass on a lapper there.
Yeah.
You know, I got a random phone call the other day from a guy that says, hey, I've got your Rhino. I sold it years ago.
Really?
And he called me. It still has Team Faith graphics on it. So he Googled Team Faith Rhino and got my phone number off of Facebook and called me and asked me some setup questions on that car.
That's awesome. And it's still going.
Still going strong. Yeah. I know the mechanic that built that. Awesome guy.
Was that you?
Oh, it was me.
All righty, we're watching, and we're about working on 49 minutes into this race, Chuck Lee Master, and of course, we are waiting here at the finish line. I am almost going to have to assume, is this going to be the final lap, or do we have one more after
Man,
this?
we've only done 2 laps.
Two laps. I mean, but these are like long laps, I guess.
This is great. The racers love long laps.
So we're going to have 3, or are we going to have 4 laps? I haven't heard the official
I have
word.
not heard anything, and I haven't seen, we haven't had a good shot of the finish line either, so maybe next time we see
so much other action going on. There's no sense of being at the finish line. Too much other stuff going on.
Yeah, there's not. Okay, there's Cody Miller blasting through the mud hole just before.
Oh, somebody trying to pass
Somebody
him.
trying to pass him?
Yeah.
Or are we in a...
Oh, there goes somebody on the outside. Was that Hunter? No. Yeah, Hunter Miller. Hunter Miller goes streaking by. White flag is out. He stole that one right there coming into the finish. That little
the question, Rodney, is that the 10-mile-an-hour zone? Are the mud holes part of the 10-mile-an-hour?
I don't know if they were. I don't think they were. I know the officials will see that, but was it over 10 miles an hour?
Well, I don't know.
I did.
How can you tell, right?
It was tough. I mean,
but I know that Cody Miller's out for blood now.
Yeah. I don't care if your brother's not right now. You know, Cody and Hunter Miller.
This is the last lap. It's on.
His big brother's going to make him work for you.
Oh, folks.
Isn't that
buckle
crazy?
in for the last lap of this GNCC Palatka race. It's going to be a wild one.
Yeah, it will. Well, the brothers Miller running 1 and 2 physically on the racetrack right now. Colin Truett's the one we wait to see how things are panning out for. But as we look at it right now, before time adjustments, Cody Miller, Hunter Miller, Walker Fowler, 1, 2, and 3. Walker is about 27.6 seconds back of Hunter right now. And I believe this is, actually, Cody Miller's actually leading by 2.9 seconds after overall adjustments.
Yes, because Cody started on row 2, Hunter started on row 1. So even though Hunter has the physical lead, Cody has the time adjustment. So honestly, he doesn't have to pass his brother back.
No, he's got to stay right there.
But I bet he doesn't remember that.
He probably don't care. He probably is a little bit miffed right now at big brother.
Probably so.
Hunter there. So Kevin Trantham checking in the 4 car there. He is 4th place position. He is running about 44 seconds behind Walker Fowler. We should be seeing, let's see, how much longer before Colin Truett makes his way in. Sean Bogdan checks in 5th in the XC1 and the XC2. Now, Colin Truett, according to timing and scoring, is late at this point by about 17 seconds.
But our XC1 overall leaders were a little bit late, too.
Right.
So he should be any second here. He should be.
So that right there is probably traditional around the whole track for every class. It's starting to get a little bit longer here. One lap to go.
Mikey just poked his head in the tent. Did you learn anything about
Kyle Chaney? I tried to get it out there, but just a little bit too far away for the mic, but I did have a chance to talk to Landon Wolf. Kyle Chaney, obviously frustrated, said the fuel pump is what failed on him out there.
Wow.
So back-to-back races, tough break for him, and I believe next side-by-side rounds, Camp Coker, I think. So he said, you know what, focusing on that. As frustrated as he could be right now.
Right, what else can he do? But, yeah, I'm sure he's frustrated, and we're frustrated for him.
Well, we're seeing cars check in. We've seen, let's see, I've seen the 6 car, Sean Bogdan. Michael Swift is checked in now. John Barnes is checked in, I believe, in the 7 car. And we still wait. Nope, Colin Truett has checked in. A lap time of 15:29. It puts him in 3rd place overall after time adjustments, and now only 5 seconds ahead of Walker Fowler for that final podium position. Looking at lap times, Colin Truett turned a 15:29, Walker Fowler a 15:27. So in theory right now, Colin should have it by 2 seconds when they come around, but this is final lap of racing. It is Walker Fowler, and you know the hammer's down, but Colin Truett, same thing. He knows how to win, so he's going to put the hammer down and try to make it happen as well. This is going to get exciting. So
it is, and what's really interesting here is, speaking of lap times, Hunter Miller just broke the 15-minute mark. His last lap was a 14:59.
Wow.
Which is 17 seconds faster than anybody's done already. So
wow. You know, Cody, when he goes back and looks at these lap times, he's going to have to scratch his head and say, what's going on?
What's happening there?
Yeah, you might wonder what the talks are going to be like on the way home this time. How'd you get that extra 17 seconds, big brother?
Yeah, and these guys, they live in Texas, so that's a long drive. That's a lot of time.
He got plenty of time to interrogate him.
Interrogate. There you go. There you go. Now there you see the same section here. That right-hand side coming through that mud hole is where Hunter Miller made the pass on his younger brother Cody, and now we're seeing a train at the finish line.
This could be and signal that we've got one broke down, that they're stalled out or something. Yep.
Oh, that's somebody stuck. They didn't make the rut.
That's Cole Secoy.
Yeah, that's 222.
Man, he's losing a lot of time right here in the scoring.
He's costing everybody else some time too. You know, they're not happy with it.
Wow. Anybody behind him right now is certainly chomping at the bit, although there are only about 5 cars. So
all the way backed up around the corner. This is like being at Walmart.
Yeah, and the new checkout lines they got where you got to do it yourself.
Might as well at this point.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'll score myself, thank you.
54 minutes, working on 55. Well, we don't do that here. We're still a real American company here.
That's right.
We don't give our jobs away.
We will scan your helmet for you.
Exactly. We got people out there doing it, man. I mean, we back up. We got it. We got it going on. So we are a major threat in the world of off-road racing scoring. We can do it better than anybody.
That's right.
Speaking of better, be on the lookout. We're testing, and actually it's working, and you should be seeing it come soon. The new transponder scoring, where you can literally follow them around on an app on your phone. A GPS thing will tell you when they go through certain checkpoints in certain areas on the racetrack. That's what we're testing right now. I don't want to let too much of the cat out of the bag.
I think
but
you
that's
just did.
Oh, well, it's coming, folks. Well, I mean, they got the transponders out. We're in the process of making everything work, but the app is being written and everything right now. And once that goes online, man, that's going to be super.
That's a game changer.
That is. And you're going to know where your rider is.
That's
basically
amazing.
You're going to know when they went through this check, that check, that check. I mean, there's going to be about 8 or 10 different points on the track that they're going to be able to. Yeah.
I'm in addition to being a racer, I'm also a dirt bike dad. That's going to be so cool. I missed my kid's pit last week because I didn't time it right, and anyway, that's cool. Hey, what's not cool is getting stuck just before the finish line.
Look at that.
And man, you got to wonder about his 4-wheel drive there, because all I see is rear wheel spinning, and all these cars are 4-wheel drive. But
and I only see one rear wheel spinning.
Yeah, notorious for ripping these things up.
Wow. I tell you what, 56 minutes into this race, we look at this. We are 8.5 minutes. Chuck, you're going to have to head down to the finish line.
I think I will, since we're on the opposite end of Pro Row here. So I'm going to head down to the finish line, and I will catch up with you as soon as these guys come off
Mike, watch right there. Take it.
All right.
If it's there. And you got hurt last week racing the big bucks, so he's going. I don't want to watch him hobble down Bender's Row. But here we are. There's Walker Fowler through. Right, or actually not Walker Fowler. That's Cody Miller going through. I've seen that number 1. I'm so used to seeing number 1 at Yamaha and Walker, but he's 13 out here. He's in the 4th place position. We are out in one of these, this out by the start field out here. And wow, what a nice long shot we've had with this one. These drivers about 8 minutes from a checker flag. And we'll be able to start sorting out who is going to be top dog in this. There's Walker Fowler. 13 car, again, 4th after time adjustment. He is physically 3rd place on the racetrack right now. Colin Truitt, who is the 17 car, is a little further back as far as actual physicalness on the track, but his lap times are very consistent and very competitive. Last time around, he turned a 15:29. Walker Fowler, a 15:27. The difference between those two and after time adjustments and elapsed time was only about 5 seconds. So Walker Fowler stands a chance. There goes the 4 car again of Kevin Trantham. Trantham seems to be still about, well, actually, I think he's closer than that 44 seconds behind Walker Fowler that he was a lap ago. He may be picking up that pace a little bit and closing up the gap some. Would be making sense considering Walker Fowler is in some of that lap traffic a little deeper than what Trantham is at this particular point. "58 minutes into a scheduled 1-hour race. This will go over by probably about 6 to 7 minutes. But in order to give the best race possible, we Had to do that, and we got plenty of daylight. Hey, speaking of daylight, don't forget tonight is daylight savings times. You're going to have to scoot your clocks an hour forward tonight. So don't forget, when you go to bed, your clocks go ahead 1 hour as we spring forward here in 2018. Hard to believe it's there already or here already. Watching this drone coverage there, very nice footage. You can see how the machines are working from up above. You can see the characteristics that the track is starting to take with the deep ruts and those turns. You can see that actually they're getting deeper on one side and higher on the other, so these cars are having a tougher time manipulating those turns, and I think that speed is going to be probably some of the best friends that these guys are going to have. They're going to have to speed up, I think, to make some of those turns kind of dirt track it. There's the 723 car, Fowler, Vicky Fowler. That is Walker Fowler's mom. She tried an alternate line. Walker, you don't want to use this line. But Vicky, I'm sure, was trying to make a pass out there. But there's all four wheels spinning in that Yamaha. What a heartbreaker. I'm not sure how she was doing. She was running third in the class. Let's see where she was at and where she is now. Vicky Fowler has dropped to fourth place now, and is not able to finish that second lap, which would have brought her into third place if she could complete this lap. So it looks like Madeline Cox may be able to secure a third place position in the women UTV. Cox out of Monroe, North Carolina. But look at the conditions. You know, you think about Florida. This is what we're talking about. There's soft, soggy areas. This is a mud bog facility, a.k.a. the hog wall or mud bogs. And that's where you get that kind of stuff out there. It may be sand, it may be rough, you may have seen a little dust, but you've also got to contend with that. That's what GNCC racing is all about right there, my friends. Every element that can be thrown at you, making it the toughest race possible we can under the circumstances and conditions, and yet giving you a fun and safe race at the same time. And I think that the track crew has hit a home run, a grand slam once again, and ensuring that we got great track and opportunities to make passes, and also for the spectators to watch and witness some great things taking place. So right now it's a matter of a waiting game. I see that we are about 3 minutes, just under 4, before we should be seeing the leaders check in, your physical leaders check in. Hunter Miller physically leading last time, but Cody Miller leading on time adjustments with 2.9 seconds. Colin Truitt is in the number 3 spot. Walker Fowler, though, is only 5 seconds behind, about 4 point so many seconds in reality, and was about 5 seconds faster on that lap. So this next time around is going to tell the tape. Time adjustment will probably be right down to splitting hairs, basically. Watch how these machines maneuver these sections, of course, in these Florida sand. Beautiful executed drive in there. There's another one of those YFC Yamahas we see. Again, folks, if you want to test drive one of these, be sure and head over to the Yamaha display out near the front gate. They've got a display track, a demo track for you to go to ride a variety of different models of these Yamahas. And we hope that you guys will take full advantage of that. Also, don't forget, those of you here at the racetrack today as well, we got Moose Racing. Actually, I believe they began serving, or are beginning serving up at the Moose Racing Transporter, so you're going to want to head up there for our welcome back dinner, breaking bread with your GNCC brothers and sisters out there, so head on up. And don't forget, there's the one car, Cody Miller. It looks like he may have regained and captured the lead position, the physical lead out there, as we catch him on this long road heading back to go into some of that tighter stuff. But his brother had just gotten around him in the scoot car. I didn't see anyone around him either. Hunter has taken off and has split the scene, or Cody Miller has left him in the dust back there. Man, I just get so pumped up by this shot right here. I cannot wait to use this. We're going to see some great racing, some great passing, and things like that in the future. Again, folks, we'll be keeping this woods closed for you until about 6 o'clock once we get the UTV swept. So those on site here with us, maintain your position in the pits, please. Final lap of racing. We are over the 1 hour mark. According to timing and scoring, we are less than 2 minutes, approaching 1 minute before the estimated arrival time of your leader, Hunter Miller, who came in a lap ago. Physically, that's the one that we're gauging on right now. So we just wait with bated breath to see what happens. Cody Miller, again, 2.9 seconds out front after time adjustments. This is going to be big, a great redemption for him after the mechanical issues and scoring 0 points. So basically, he put himself behind the 8 ball right off the bat, and he said, you know, basically just going to have to go and win, or at least try to come as close to winning as many of these as possible. There is Miller making his way through another one of these mud sections out here. He gets by the lap traffic that is stuck out there. Maneuvers through other vehicles that are stalled along the way into the final chicanes, and Cody Miller rolls to checkers and the win here at the Wildboar GNCC. A redemption ride right there for the #1 car as he comes across the line physically first after starting in the #2 row out there. Again, time adjustment will definitely tell us whether or not he's able to maintain that position or not, but Cody Miller shows us why he is the national and defending champion in UTV racing as he makes it happen here in the sands of Florida. He has got to be pumped up about that. Where is Big Bubby Hunter Miller at? He checks in 31 seconds back, so Hunter Miller right now is 2nd overall. We'll wait and see whether or not that is going to hold true as Colin Truitt and Walker Fowler are still due in. Walker Fowler should be checking in a minute or 2 before Colin Truitt, and then it's a waiting game at that point to find out whether or not Walker is going to be able to hit the podium for a 2nd consecutive race, or whether Colin will do it himself. But look at that smile on your winner and champion's face there, Cody Miller. That's something that a big sigh of relief brings, is a smile like that. You can see by looking at his face, looking at the car, looking at the clothes, they took a lot of mud on and a lot of dirt out there. So a well-deserved win out there. Chuck Master is standing by. He's going to be talking to these guys here in just a moment. I'm going to be taking them on over. But look at that. Even got drone footage at the finish line. Way to go, Woody. I call, if you've seen Ian Howells, you'd understand why we call him. It looks like Woody off of the Toy Story. But look at that. #1 car. You can read that high above as we are getting ready to take him over to the victory lane here in just a moment. Chuck Master is right there. There's Ken Hill, our series photographer, out with us today as well. So I can only imagine how great the feeling is right now. You know, we're talking about the Moose cool-down zone a few moments ago, from Parts Unlimited. There it is right there. The drivers and teams and everybody go through there. They'll get them a free cold water and try to refresh up a little bit. So standing by for post-race interviews there now, and those of you folks here will be closed for about 30 more minutes in the woods, and then we'll open it up for you guys to go and walk the trails. Don't forget, coming up tonight, we spring forward, so make sure you turn those clocks 1 hour ahead. Checkers continue to fly. Let's give you an idea of how the breakdown is now. Cody Miller, Hunter Miller, Kevin Trantham is 3rd, Walker Fowler in 4th, Sean Bogdan in 5th, 6th place is Michael Swift. Still no sign of Colin Truitt yet. Walker Fowler lost a little time as he dropped back behind Kevin Trantham physically, it looks like, or at least time adjusted anyway. So we'll see whether or not Colin Truitt may be a little faster than Kevin Trantham to steal that final podium position there. So we'll stand by for just a few more moments so we can get the official top 3 overall here for you. Make sure he doesn't, I don't think he's going to beat that guy right there. So let's keep an eye on the clock right now. Let's head on down to Chuck Master and Cody Miller as we are ready for our post-race interviews and to find out just how excited our defending champion is to get that redemption after all the mishaps that took place 2 weeks ago at the Big Buck GNCC.
All right, I'm down here at just at the side of the track with our winner, Cody Miller. Cody, man, what a race you had from the second row all the way to the checkers.
Yeah, I tell you what, it feels good coming from the second row and actually taking the physical first place. You know, I knew I was in first whenever I came up on Hunter and everybody that was in the first row, and sure enough, we were able to make passes on them eventually, and we came out first overall and first ones off the track. And I tell you what, this Yamaha with the GYTR turbo, I pulled an awesome hole shot again, and I kind of knew it was going to happen, honestly, as this thing pulls really hard right out of the gate. And Cody Taylor and I, we put in fast laps and set a hard pace. We had picked out some awesome lines out there. You know, we really did our homework whenever we were walking the track, and we ended up going through a couple swamps, if you can't tell, and it came out ahead. You know, I just can't be more proud. You know, the Elka suspension was doing really awesome. The Greaves car, Johnny Greaves built this Yamaha to win races, and I'm glad that's out here. That's what we're getting to do.
Yeah, man, well, congratulations to you, and we're thrilled to see you back in the game here. No overheat issues, and congratulations on your success here at Palatka.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, the last race, you know, that was completely my fault in a mechanical issue that I had kind of messed up whenever I was putting the car together, but we've got her dialed in now. Got a little test time in, and this Yamaha with Maxxis tires is ripping.
All right, fantastic. Well, I'll catch up with you here in a little bit, but for now, I'm going to throw it back to you, Rodney.
All right, thanks a lot, Chuck. And, wow, ripping, yeah. And, wow, I don't know if we got a replay of the hole shot that Cody Miller pulled there off of that second row, but it was just, like, amazingly, I mean, lightning quick. He darted off that line. And like I said, you know, we were talking about those holes of water. He walked that track, and he knew what I knew, that not all those holes were completely deep, so he took advantage of that situation and was able to make up time out there, and voila, he's a winner here at the Wildboar GNCC. Second place will go to his big bro. Talking about Hunter Miller and Kevin Trantham, it appears will get the number 3 position. I still haven't. Colin Truitt has checked in. He will be 5th place overall. So Colin Truitt, 5th place overall. Not a bad day. He won the single seat this morning, and he also won the XC2 class. So the only people that beat him were XC1 drivers. So Colin Truitt has nothing to hang his head about after this race, no doubt, as he is certainly going to be a major force to contend and reckon with here in the 2018 AMSOIL GNCC Series. I got to say it. I'm going to say it. It's just too bad it's only a 6-round series, because with racing like this, 13 rounds of racing is what this championship series needs. Wow. What a great race, what a great battle, and what a big smile there by the big brother to the winner. And second place today, Hunter Miller down with Chuck Lee Master.
All right, I'm back down here at the finish line. Just caught Hunter Miller as he came off the track here. Hunter, you finished the race in second place, and how's that for the day?
Yeah, I'm proud to finish this one. That was absolutely brutal. You know, we had an awesome fight for the lead. The first lap, it was so tight, and Cody and Kyle caught up to us, and I knew it'd be pretty tough to get by them and then pull another gap, but Kyle ended up going out. I'm not sure what happened, and Cody and I passed each other back a couple times, but you know, there at the end, I got him coming into the last lap and going out in the fields. You know, my belt was just so hot, I had to back off, and he went back by me, but it was, I don't know that I could have kept him behind me anyway. He was hauling, but
yeah, we were talking about that on RacerTV. That oh man, Big Brother just passed, because it was on TV when you passed him there coming into the finish, and we thought, man, how's this last lap going to go? But it turns out you had a hot belt, and you came in second place, and that's valuable points. So man, not a bad start to the season. Round 2 finish and in the books now.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I'm glad my pass on him was at least on TV, so I can play that on replay. But no, it's great. This puts us in a great position, you know, with 4th the first round and 2nd this one. That's going to put us up there in the points. So I'm not sure how some of the other top guys finished up, but it's looking good. So that's what I wanted to do, is come out here, be consistent, and finish these races.
Hey, man, that's key. Well, congratulations to you. Rodney, I'm going to throw it back down to you there in the booth.
All righty, thanks a lot, Chuck. And, of course, we have got one more to talk to here in just a moment. We're talking about Kevin Trantham. Kevin had, if memory serves me correct, a pretty decent day today in 4x4 Pro. I could be mistaken about that. He always has a good day of racing, it seems like, but had an excellent day in the side-by-side stuff here. Fowler again finishing 4th, Colin Truitt in 5th, Sean Bogdan in 6th, Michael Swift 7th, C.J. Greaves will take the 9th place position. Actually, Eric Polomaki just took the 8th place spot on time adjustment. C.J. Greaves in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 was Scotty Lawrence in the 126 car out of Thornville, Ohio. He was a UXC3 guy. By the way, Eric Polomaki was the winner of the XC3 and finishing 8th place overall. So we're seeing some of these guys and some of the latter rows do pretty good out here whenever things go to be complete at the end of a 1-hour race. Speaking of 1-hour races, this one officially for your leader, Cody Miller, 1 hour, 2 minutes, 33.5 seconds is what it took for Cody Miller to move out to the front and secure his first win of 2018. Kevin Trantham on his way over to the podium as we take a look at some of the sights of the Wildboar GNCC. We see a lot of the ATV folks are cycling out. We'll be putting 2-wheel machines in their places and filling this place right back up for tomorrow's racing action. There's some of the big mud bogs that we talk about that are here. Of course, they do big competitions and things like that here. Actually pretty neat. If you're a mudder, and most of us are there in GNCC and into this kind of racing, wouldn't that be fun to drop your big 4-wheel drive down into that one with those Monster 33s on there and try to rip through that? What a great place here at Rodman Plantation. Do airboat races there in that long strip that you see. They actually have drag races down through there on the water, obviously. But a rather nifty and neat little facility that we've got here. And just a couple miles down the road is the actual Rodman Plantation House. As we said, this facility is located on about 6,000 acres of property. So we've got ourselves a whole lot of terrain to try and manipulate and work through. So it looks like we've got a long time to keep playing here, and we hope that you keep coming back. Speaking of coming back, be sure and come back tomorrow. Kevin Trantham made his way back to the pits already, so we're not going to be able to catch up with him, but maybe next time we'll be able to do that for sure. Be sure and tune in tomorrow. We'll start about 1 o'clock. On behalf of Chuck LeMaster and all of us here at Racer TV, I'm Rodney Tomlin. Have a great day, everybody.